Last week, Amazon and Warner Brothers released a press release including a short video confirming the cast and villains that are going to appear in the first season of Batman Caped Crusader. We already knew about Harley Quinn, Clayface and Catwoman, but the new list added several other villains, some of whom are completely left field. Did anyone really expect to see Firebug in this show? I know I didn't. But one of the most major Batman villains on the list is Two-Face. The press release confirmed that Two-Face would be played by Batman Brave and the Bold alum Diedrich Bader. He had previously played Batman, and at first casting him as Two-Face felt like a strange move. And I'm not the only one that initially found it difficult to wrap my head, or should that be my ears, around. Producer James Tucker, who was creative lead for Batman Brave and the Bold, discussed some of his initial difficulties with this casting. Tucker said, "When we started the show, I'm like, well, he's my Batman. I can't. First it was hard for me, and by the end, now I hear him, and I immediately think of Harvey. I don't think of my Batman anymore. He did some nuanced things with Harvey." So if James Tucker can get past it, then I will be able to as well. I feel like Bader is probably best known for his comedic roles, but tragedy and comedy are two sides of the same coin. I think I see what they're going for there. And for their version of Two-Face, he's different to most other versions of the character. I made no secret of how Batman the Animated Series Two-Face is my favourite Batman villain, hands down. Something about his backstory spoke to me, how he repressed his anger and tried his best to be a decent person, but ultimately that suppression bubbled away inside of him, making him become mentally ill. At his most vulnerable moment, being blackmailed by gangsters threatening to reveal his secret to the world, Harvey Dent gave in and let his bad side take over. Two-Face shared the same goals with Harvey Dent, but he knew that the corruption of Gotham ran deep and that it would be impossible to eradicate organised crime. Instead, it would be better to take out the crime bosses and replace them. Caped Crusader's version sounds like he's going to be pretty different. Rather than being a righteous district attorney trying to end the scourge of organised crime, there Harvey Dent is corrupt and uses his power to help the wealthy criminals evade justice, until it backfires on him. He's exactly the kind of person that BTAS Harvey Dent was fighting against, but I've inferred that his criminal friends turn on him and burn off half his face. They haven't revealed how he gets his facial disfigurement. In fact, they haven't even officially shown it off yet, although there is a leaked image floating around out there if you're absolutely desperate to see it now and don't mind having it spoiled. I've seen it and kind of wish I hadn't, but they are definitely going for a more realistic look. The split in two suit representing Two-Face's split psyche is gone. Instead, he wears a normal looking black suit, and his facial disfigurement looks more realistic. No bright colours, just warped, damaged flesh. In some ways, it's also similar to the disfigurement of their Clayface, which also leaked, especially the teeth. It sounds to me like this version of Harvey Dent is more like the Two-Face of the New 52 era of Batman comics. Dent was a defense lawyer for the mob who had half his face slowly burnt off with acid after he betrayed his clients. Hence the double meaning of the name Two-Face. Yes, his face is split in two, but he's a backstabber, a betrayer, someone that can't be trusted. This is also how Two-Face has been characterised in the Harley Quinn animated series. He's a deceptive liar that would sell you out at the first chance he gets. Of Caped Crusader's Two-Face, Bruce Timm said, "We thought, well, what if he starts off as kind of a schnook, and then he gets his face disfigured. For the first time in his life, he actually feels empathy for other people." The use of the word schnook caught me off guard because it's not a word I'm familiar with. Apparently it's a mix of German and Yiddish that means a fool. It sounds like their Harvey Dent never really considered the consequences of his actions, or at least didn't care about them, and blindly walked through life working with very dangerous people. You could argue that their version of Harvey Dent sounds like a sociopath. He was only able to start to feel empathy for other people after he suffered himself. He had to actually feel that despair before he could imagine how another person might feel as a result of his or others' actions. It doesn't sound like their Two-Face struggles with a mental disorder, a bit like Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face in the Dark Knight movie. And I'm curious about how they'll work his double-headed coin into the story, if they even will at all. But it does sound like his disfigurement causes him to reassess his life and opts to fight against the forces of organised crime. And it's likely that he will go too far, even for this slightly unhinged version of Batman. Given that there are only 10 episodes in Season 1 and so far 8 villains have been confirmed, I have to wonder if Harvey Dent will make any appearances before he becomes Two-Face. Despite only appearing twice in Batman the Animated Series, seeing the man who would become Two-Face was very rewarding for fans and helped build our feelings of sympathy for him when his mental health struggles were revealed. I've got my fingers crossed that we'll see him multiple times in the show before his face gets disfigured. And that's pretty much all we know about Two-Face. so far. With San Diego Comic-Con coming up in July, I have to think there'll be more announcements then. Even if they skip San Diego, we won't have long to wait as Batman Caped Crusader launches on Amazon Prime globally on the 1st of August. All 10 episodes will drop on the first day, which I am very glad to hear because the wait between episodes of X-Men 97 drove me up the wall, and I'll binge them all as soon as they're available. Stay tuned for more Caped Crusader content in the coming weeks.